Okay, you guys are getting way ahead of me on this. How long ago? Look, so Johnny Ringo, absolutely first in, but he's been in here forever. You guys are, I feel like you're cheating a little bit. You're jumping the gun.
They were on time.
Yeah, they were on time. We're not. We're still going to run the countdown clock and do everything that you guys expect us to do here on an episode of Shop Talk. So stick around. Shop Talk going live in just a little bit. But we want to see everybody that's watching. So throw up your name, the town you're watching from, so we can give you a shout out. I'm going to go through the list real quick here a little bit. Big Matt from North Carolina. Zam Biker in the house with us. Evil Rick, always in with us. So good to see you guys. Tiger's in with us. Tiger Ward. Robin Hagebottom is with us. Jeff McKinney, Paul Adams, Johnny Ringo, right on time. That's it. Ken Ruples. Good to see you guys, man. Another episode of Shop Talk coming to you in just 3 minutes and 31 seconds. I cannot wait. We have a fantastic guest for you. We have a bunch of cool stuff to tell you about. Just got back from the Harley-Davidson homecoming, and man, they got some new stuff that they laid on us there that I cannot wait to tell you guys about. Josh Collins in with us. Defiance, Ohio, representing Ohio strong. Behind Rudy's Fairing here with us, the mighty Quinn. Thank God for Shop Talk Sundays. You know, we just don't hear that quite enough. Quinn, keep it up, buddy. And you can keep it up too. Remember, sharing is caring. Tell your friends and neighbors. Make sure that they're watching Shop Talk every Sunday at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. This is episode 282. I can't even believe it. I'm just not that consistent. This is the most consistent thing I've done in my life, except for Cycle Source Magazine. Incredible. Must be the motorcycles. We're going live with Shop Talk in just 2.5 minutes, man. Grab a drink, kick back, relax, get ready for 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit. Bill Stevens in with us. Shouldn't you be getting ready for Sturgis, Bill? You better be getting ready for Sturgis. Where's Poppy? How do we start a show without Steve Boyles checking in from Detroit? Best Sunday night program ever. That's awesome, man. We're so proud of this. We're so proud that this has become a regular staple for so many of you guys. I appreciate it. So Jelly Roll was the big talk at the Harley-Davidson homecoming in Milwaukee. And boy, I'll tell you, he didn't disappoint. 35,000, 40,000 maybe, some odd in attendance. And he took it to them. Anyone seen Sandman? Haven't seen him in a while. No, I haven't either, man. You're right. All right, 1 minute and 11 seconds till we go live with this one. This is the time. You better have your cheese sandwich ready. Yeah, I like a good cheese sandwich every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. Flannel season will be here before you know it. Mr. Rob Nussbaum in the house, our associate producer, making sure we do everything as right as we can. I mean, come on. Professionalism dictates you give it your best shot. All right, man. It's close enough. I think we're down to 30 seconds. Let's get this one out of the station and up on the tracks. Let's go live with Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. on the East Coast, just after 8 here in Mitchell, South Dakota, where we're coming to you live from the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio high atop Television Hill in the Clockworks campus. I said it right tonight. I said campus right. Are you so proud of me or what?
I'm so proud of you. It's the little thing.
It is the first time.
I am. I know, right?
You
I
are
am
the tiny acorn.
Harry Bostard's in with us.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Harry from the Wall of Death, man. Good to see you here, buddy. It's Sturgis countdown time. The fact that I have any hair left on my head right now is amazing.
Yeah, it's rough around here, not gonna lie.
It's like if someone says how many days till Sturgis again, that followed closely by this.
So here's the deal. I was talking to my sister the other night, and I literally almost had to hang up on her because she's like talking about Sturgis and then smoke out and then this and then this, and I literally said, "Stop, just stop." I'm like, please, you're gonna give me a heart attack because they're all like, bam, bam, bam. Yeah.
The only bonus you guys have going for you is you're like only 5 hours away.
Well, it's actually
That is
only 3.5 now.
That
so,
is helpful.
Yeah, so compared to normally, you're in the same position 22 hours away.
Wow, look, Dan Duggan's here,
I
man.
know.
Right on.
Howdy,
right
Dan.
on.
We're gonna see your buddy Gare next week. I'm super looking forward to that.
So, yes, that is a bonus. I want to clear this up because I had a whole bunch of people run up to me in in Milwaukee this weekend, and they were like, "Did you move or something?" And yes, we have actually moved. We've moved to Mitchell, South Dakota. We're in a beautiful new studio and office suite that was constructed by the folks here at Clockworks. Brian has brought us into the fold, and there is a lot of stuff getting ready to happen, man. If you are a subscriber to Grease and Gears TV, get ready for it. If you're not, you might want to head over there and check it out. Meanwhile, back in Pittsburgh.
Shit's the same here.
Hey, listen, I know why you're laughing too. You don't have to deal with any of this year.
Oh, I got my own problems going on right now, so this is deadline time for me. You know that.
Yeah, this is always a tough month for you.
Yeah, and they're moving me around like mad. But I also haven't run to your house 40 times to help you assemble stuff, so I got that going for me.
Yeah, listen, that's going to have to change too. So let's talk about Milwaukee real quick, because Milwaukee was an absolute blast. I can't thank the people from Harley-Davidson enough for bringing us out. But the big news there, man, I got to ride some new product, and this right here is quickly going to be the talk of the town. So looks like,
What is it, Chris?
Looks like a regular black street glide at a glance.
No.
But
A
if
black
you,
street glide?
If you look really close at that black street glide, I have never, in all the years that I've said about, going to the Harley media launches and all the stuff that they do, it's always cool, but I've never walked away going, I want to own this motorcycle. I'm telling you right now, I want to own this motorcycle.
Why?
And
because it's fast? Because it's comfortable?
It's stupid fast. So big news coming out of that was that Harley-Davidson just introduced this little thing right here, 135-inch crate motor. So crate, you can add it onto your existing platform. And the impressive thing about that is that motor puts out 194 foot-pounds of torque, or 149, excuse me, 149 foot-pounds of torque, around 4,000 RPM, 145 horsepower, and that is rear wheel measurement. So as close to real world as you're gonna get. But I rode it, and I'm telling you right now, stupid fast. Very, very cool.
So why do you have to go that fast, Chris?
Because you can. That's a dumb question.
But I mean, here's the deal. Like, realistically, unless you're taking it out on the track or don't mind paying a bazillion speeding tickets.
Which I don't mind.
Can't even ask you're not allowed to ask these questions.
I'm just curious.
Why did we build War Pony?
Yep.
Because Chris is dumb.
I
mean, come on, you had to know that was coming.
When we get this close to Sturgis, I try not to argue with her. We just, the dirty looks are enough.
Oh, good Lord.
Right on, man. So listen, you're watching, like I said, this is little program we do every Sunday night. Glad to have you here. It's our chance to catch up on everything from the week, everything that we've been up to, and share with you guys the things that we're putting our eyes on maybe a little bit ahead of time. So thanks for being here. This is episode 282. I still can't even believe that. I can't believe that you two are still here, first of all.
So, Tiger, put your hand over her mouth. What, so I can put a pillow over his later? I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Oh.
You know how the show starts.
Biker, it is paid up. That's the one bill I don't miss.
You know how the show starts, right?
The news.
There you go. The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers. EICMA 110th Anniversary Edition ready to make its mark again. The International Two-Wheeled Exhibition unveils its communication campaign and is ready. The 2024 event, November 5th through the 10th at Fiero Milano Row.
I think we should go again.
I do too.
I definitely think we should go.
Too.
Pirelli?
You just have to tell me if that's in the budget, baby.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm not sure it's going to happen this year, Heather. Lots going on. Lots in the studio.
There's lots going on.
Also in the news tonight, Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 launched in North America. Pre-bookings open.
I really put that up there so you could see the price point right at the top.
Go ahead.
So I think
it's
U.S.
all
dollars,
you, baby.
$5,800.
Yeah.
Out the door.
That's cheap.
Like for me, that is cheap. Like you can't buy American motorcycles at that price point, which is a shame. Again, like you need a cheapers. I just lost my damn words.
Whoa, there it goes. Okay.
Lost
so
my
what Heather
words.
was trying to say is that with everybody talking about the need for new consumers to come into motorcycling, possibly from the youth demographic, this is a really strong offering.
I think I just had a mini stroke.
Wow, his voice got.
You're
voice changed.
You're supposed to be our Robin Quivers for Christ's sake.
Mid-sentence. Jeez. I just had a stroke.
$57.99 in the U.S. In Canada, it starts at $76.99. Falling in line with the adventure bike craze that's going on everywhere. You know, we've talked about Royal Enfield's offerings ad nauseum. Solid motorcycles. Absolutely not the bikes from, several years back that they were basically just a cheap motorcycle. These are actually good quality, good running bikes, man. So good for them.
Hey, Waldo. Zan, that was a Royal Enfield 450.
Did you just say
Royal
hey,
Enfield
Waldo?
seems to
Waldo
really
is
be
here.
knocking it out of the
I
park,
found
too.
Waldo.
What'd you say, Mark?
I said Royal Enfield seems to be knocking it out of the park.
Yeah,
Everything they're coming out with is they're coming on strong.
They are.
Rob, you bought me a motorcycle? I love you. Does it come with a flannel? I'm just saying.
So, wow, she's full of it tonight. Back to the news. In from the AMA. AMA joins coalition in support of right to repair. Well, AMA, congratulations. I'll be damned. And here I was just thinking that you guys were collecting race entries all this time. There's actually a political arm of that organization. Expresses strong support for H.R. 906, the Right to Equitable and Professional Auto Industry Repair Act. Good for them. No, all joking aside. If you're not a member of the AMA, you don't have the right to bitch. It's the same as voting. So make sure you have your little patch, join, then you can put pressure on them and be a smartass like we do. Fair
There
enough?
you go. I mean, you're a smartass
We've never
without
had
a permit anyway.
We've never
so.
had to join anything to be smartasses.
Ah, my goodness. All right, man. Well, listen, not a whole lot in the news other than staring down the barrel of the Black Hills gun right now.
Right.
So,
One big piece of news.
yeah.
Tomorrow, Chris
Don't
turns,
do it. Don't
Chris
do it.
turns 54 years old tomorrow. So it is his birthday. Please call him, text him,
No,
blow his phone
don't.
up, drive him crazy.
What?
Like how he drives me crazy. I'm just
Don't
saying.
do it. Listen, I just think I've
I'll
had
put his
enough.
cell number in the DM in the
I've had enough birthdays, and it's.
Oh, man.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm over it. I'm over the birthday thing. Let's take a look at a cool feature bike. When we come back on the other side, we're going to have one of the best guests we've had on this program in a long time, Mr. Dave Zemla. He's been a long-time friend of the program, and he's going to come on and talk about his new position. We're excited to catch up with him. You're watching Shop Talk. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Brandon Hoffman, Tynesta, Pennsylvania, Logic Cycles. Started, actually I was going to build a replica 45 WR, and my custom background took over halfway through the process, and it turned into more of a custom flat tracker. It's a 1955 Servicar frame that I cut. I hardtailed, I stretched north and south to put a 103 stroker shovel in it. Made an adapter plate to put a 4 and 6 speed transmission. It's got all custom floorboards. The floorboards actually pivot as your controls. There's no physical levers on the whole bike. The brake actually pivots as a brake, and the clutch actually pivots as a clutch. Stripped down, bare bones. Just wanted to tip my hat to what I would have built if I was around in the 50s, and I think this is probably about what I would have done. It's pretty easy, clean. Doesn't look like it should run and drive, but it does. This is our second year for the Throwdown. Last year I just built one bike for my dad. It was like a last minute deal. We got the bike done, got it here. This year I actually built two bikes. I built a bike for my dad, and I built this bike. It's a great event with great people. I mean, that's what the event is. It's not bikes. It's about coming here and hanging out with people, and that's the bottom line. That's what it is. It's the Friends Throwdown. It's not a chopper throwdown. It specifically says friends in it for a reason, because that's what we all are. We're all friends. We all try to help any way we can with each other, and that's what the industry should be about, and that's what I think, this group of people is trying to show the industry, that we can do that. Brandon Hoffman, Logic Cycles, and you're watching Grease and Gears TV.
The only thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
Hey, it's Billy from Twisted Tea. We're live in Sturgis, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Okay, Twisted Tea fans, this is your all call. We're just 14 days away from the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, where this thing is going to roll out on stage before Jelly Roll. Super stoked about that. Not super stoked that we're only 14 days away, but pretty much all we have to do at this point is put the bike together. All the hard stuff has been done. We got a fresh powder coat job on this frame, and the FXRT is on its way to the Black Hills. You need to be on your way. Get over to twistedtea.com today and sign up for a chance to win this incredible motorcycle that they're giving away to one lucky fan, not for buying Twisted Tea, not for subscribing to Cycle Source, just because they love motorcycles, they love being part of this lifestyle, and this is their way to give back to you. Go check them out today, twistedtea.com. All right, welcome back to Dennis Kirk Studio. You're watching Shop Talk, and that program, that commercial was filmed a week ago, so there is now 7 days left. And I don't even want to show you a picture of the bike because it doesn't really look like a bike yet. And
But wait a
I'm
minute.
getting so
no,
stressed
it
out.
actually does. I have to say, you and Aaron and Shelton and Todd.
Ryan and Brian and Cowboy came over and Jesus.
Danny and Brian. You guys killed it last week.
Mark, you son of a bitch.
I don't know. There was always just like 2 or 3 of us. Now you got a whole team. What's going on out there?
I got to tell you, though, he was reluctant. He was very reluctant to accept it. I'm like, oh, no. If they're offering, you're taking.
Yeah, at this point, take all you can get.
Listen,
especially those guys. They all know what they're doing, so that helps.
That's the only thing. And I have some help. Like, you guys will see in the product this on this show. It's on NAMZ full harness, and like anybody that knows me knows that wiring is not my bag. Like, I think it's the whole reason I build choppers is we're down to 6 wires to make a running motorcycle. Well, this is an FXR with turn signals and all this shit, and like, I can't have 6 wires.
Nope. No, there's a whole big wiring harness, and he pulled it out the other day and was like, and he like shoved it back in the box. Yep.
But you're missing all of this.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I am not.
Yeah, there's no paint on your floor this year.
Right? I haven't even, I don't think I've even had time to go in the garage, let alone paint anything. So
God.
I miss it, though. I got to tell you, I miss the stress. That's always good stress because at the end, it's so worth it. You have something super cool to offer.
This is what, bike number 6?
Bike number 6 for Twisted Tea. Has Eric sent you any updates?
No.
I got to tell you, Eric from Open Throttle Customs is killing it with the color. Like, he's just, I can't wait to see what he's done. I'm super excited.
We've dealt with Pantone color codes and scans and all this stuff. He mixed up the yellow by hand because he couldn't find anything on it. Absolutely killed it. Did like a base yellow, and then in the overcoat he did like a green kind of pearl thing, and it matches the can exactly, dude. I have no idea how he's killing it that. Yep.
Yeah, he mixed it himself, right?
So listen, our guest tonight, we're going to get to our guest as quick as we can now. Our guest has been, he's been a friend of the magazine forever, absolute valuable asset to the entire industry. He was with SNS for a really long time, did a lot of great stuff over there. Then he had gone to, I believe it was Batubo was...
Yeah, before SNS though, remember, wasn't he with Progressive Suspension in Burley? Yep. He's been around for a minute.
But always a great conversation, and now he landed in a new position. We wanted to get him on here to talk about it because performance is going crazy. This has a lot to do with that, so let's go get Dave Zemla on and talk to him. Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth. What's up, buddy?
Wow, so Heather had a stroke. It's your birthday, and you're nowhere near done with your bike yet.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But you should know
I
by
learned a lot
now.
for the intro. I did. I feel like it was educational.
You should know by now that's pretty par for the course for us.
What? It's everybody.
That you got me to admit on a national program that you have stroke.
Whoa, what? No. Never mind.
It's a good thing. Saying that Heather has stroke means she's actually in charge. So
I see. That was her
nice save.
There you
Nice
go.
save.
description there. But okay. Anyway, thank you for the invite. It's very fun to be on.
Oh, absolutely. So, Dave, you were like, it seems like you were pretty much born a gearhead, whether it be motorcycles or cars.
Probably true. Yeah, I mean, my dad had a BSA problem of all really silly motorcycles. So I have pictures of me as I was probably 2 or 3 sitting on Montesas and Bultacos. So
Nice.
all with bad hats too. I remember as a probably grade school kid, he had this BSA. That's what he commuted on sometimes. So, and then my first bike, oh man, my first bike was a mini bike, and I was 4. I wasn't allowed to have the engine until I was 5. So I had to dog paddle it around, and it probably built balance
I was
You know
just
what
going to say, it sounds like you had the very first ever Strider bike.
Yeah, well, what I had is an unfinished project bike from age 4.
I was gonna say did you get the motor for your 5th birthday?
I think it was Christmas or something.
Hey, listen though, seriously, like Bull Taco, I don't think there's anything strange about that at all. Bull Taco, when we were kids, everybody
My
wanted
first
to have
dirt
that
bike.
bike. Yeah, that thing was sick.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, keep in mind this is very early 70s. So, and my parents were motohead dad, kind of hippie-ish mom. And you know, like I spent the summer of love in a Volkswagen bus. So like there's that. But he was a big dirt bike guy. We were originally from the East Coast. So and Bull Taco and Montesa, what was, I mean, it was before Honda and Yamaha were really prevalent. Yeah, that's my first unfinished project bike right there.
I love it.
Nice.
And it really set the tone for the rest of my life.
Unfinished project bikes or just bikes in general?
Probably both. Yeah, probably both. Yeah. Yeah, and I bet I'm probably 4-ish or something. Anyway, so yeah, it's I've had bikes, cars, building stuff since day one. So and still, in fact, I just came in, took a quick shower. I've been welding all day long.
You
Which
know,
is fun. I get to do stuff like that. My job involves mostly sitting at a desk. So it's very fun to kind of, yeah, there you go. There's, oh my God. So that fun story on that one, that's my very first motorcycle. I am a sophomore or junior in high school there. And that girlfriend I married.
I was
Oh,
going to
no
ask
kidding.
if that was April.
Yeah, that's April. Yeah. Oh, you don't have to zoom in.
no, I had to because
hair.
this could literally be a scene out of the Breakfast Club,
Oh, dude, I was just gonna say that.
right?
Yeah.
It's so awful. Yeah, the boat shoes really make it too. Yeah, that's a Honda MB5. It's a 1-year only bike. And it was a 50cc 2-stroke in stock form. That one was 75cc with a chamber, porting, intake, blah, 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 blah.
You know, that was something I always dug though about talking to you because, you know, what Heather said, were you born a gearhead? Every time we had a chance to catch up, you were working on some project that you were so fired up about. And it could have been, you know, like when you guys did the 3 Sportster build or when you're working on
100-day build-off. That was very fun. That was really fun. Still riding that bike.
Or even like the Volkswagen, like you would send me pictures of you guys working on your Volkswagen project in your garage and stuff. And that's
Yeah, I had a Volkswagen problem, like air-cooled Volkswagen, like some people have an alcohol problem.
I'm not sure which is. No, I'm just
but
kidding.
you know, like I feel
Chris had that same
Alcohol's
problem,
cheaper.
except
yeah.
Chris had that same problem, except none of them really ran that well.
One of them ran exceptionally well. We delivered the
Until
magazine.
you ran it to death.
Right? That's
Remember
what
the heaters on the floor?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've done that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's we're currently building something even dumber. So my son wanted to be, so he just turned 22, said I want to have a car in SEMA.
Oh my.
As a
Wow.
22-year-old, which is kind of nutty. So we started this project. We actually have a couple of sponsors helping us out, and we're building a tube chassis 88 Ford Ranger with a turbocharged LS in it. And it's a
Okay.
3-pedal. It's an H pattern car as well. So in fact, he's really funny. He's a 22-year-old who like only owns 3-pedal cars.
What are you going to do to reinforce that frame to be able to take that engine?
I built
that
an
front-
entire tube chassis. It only has 2/3 of the original frame.
Right on.
Oh wow.
Only because there's some rules that say you have to have the original frame. So, but that's all we use. It's all tube. There's 200 feet of tubing in it.
Nice.
Wow.
So that is current dumbass project. So, and then the voices are telling me to finally build an FXR.
Nice.
So I've always fought the FXR thing. Like it was just, I don't know, like everybody's done it.
Too
right?
mainstream.
Yeah, yeah.
Not mainstream. It's just like everybody's done it. So, and I've started them several times. And it just never clicked for me. And So I think this winter, I think that's what I'm going to do is an FXR. I want to build something with real suspension, something that I can really ride. So, and probably not a really ballistic motor. I don't know. The one I started a couple years back was set up for a twin cam. So I really want to do a twin cam FXR with a kind of like a 200 series rear tire. So it's got some real meat on the back. Probably like an Öhlins or Vitubo inverted front end, something like really high end suspension, and a decent twin cam motor. I really like twin cams, so I think that'd be a fun build and something you could actually ride.
One of the things that's nice about the twin cam platform for that is that you get the underneath oil tank. So you can get rid of a bunch of stuff.
Storing oil. Totally. Right. Yeah, that's a great combo.
Yep.
So I had started it, oh my God, 6-7 years ago. The chassis is probably still at SNS. So Paco built us a chassis. It was a wide rear end twin cam FXR. Not super wide, like 200 series wide. And we never got around to building it. So my guess is that the frame is probably still sitting at SNS. So I got to figure out how to get that out of there.
Is that like what we put is that War Pony?
It's exactly what he's talking about. He said that they had one custom made that took a little bit wider of a tire, but our salt flat racer is on that chassis. We took a whole touring driveline and put it into that chassis.
Yep. That's what I want to do.
Yep.
Right? What a fun bike.
It is.
I would probably de-rake it just a little bit. Just so it had a little crisp handling.
Yeah.
So it'd be a fun bike.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, his bike is a salt flat bike. It doesn't turn. It goes straight. That's it.
I live in the lower left corner of Wisconsin.
Yeah, you're gonna need to make some turns.
Yeah, it's all these crazy twisty little roads. It's like a mini Black Hills if you had to describe it to somebody who hasn't seen it. So it's what they call the driftless area. And when the glaciers moved through and flattened, states like Kansas and Iowa, they stopped and they never made it here. So, and then they drained and it dug all these crazy little valleys and everything. So there's streams and twisty roads everywhere. So they're little roads too. So a big bike is not really as much fun as a little bike.
Well, there was there was something I wanted to tell Mark about. Like that is definitely a benefit of living in Mitchell. Like when we're ready to start testing to go back to Bonneville, that's going to happen right here because you can literally watch your dog run away for 3 days here. No lie. Like it's wide ass open.
Yeah. But they're also not far from Black Hills, so you got some good twisties too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a neat area of the country. Although, man, weather does not screw around in that area.
No.
Yeah, it comes on fast and furious.
Yeah, that entire state will mess you up if you're not paying attention.
Yep. So yeah,
well, I think War Pony after the salt flats will definitely have to turn.
Yeah, you want to get it out on the street. You and Big Brian both. Keep talking about it.
That'd be
go.
a fun bike to ride on the street.
So we were talking about in the pre-show and in the introduction, we were talking about the fact that we met you probably longer than either one of us want to admit anymore. And I'd got a message, that you were leaving SNS. We talked about that for a minute. You were looking for something new to do. And then you were there for like 2 minutes. And now you just sent me a message the other day and said, oh, hey, by the way, I'm at a different place entirely.
Yeah, well, so, do a quick backstory here. So I'm 30 odd years into V-twin space, which is...
Isn't that crazy, right?
It hurts me to even say it, actually. I was doing little stuff I was doing freelance design and marketing for a couple companies. Ended up at Performance Machine way back in the day in the mid-90s. So worked there for years and years. They got bought by MAG, which was a kind of an umbrella company that had purchased like high-end. They owned Vance and Hines and J&P and a handful of other brands. So and when they did, I hung out there for a little while, and then one of the brands they owned was Progressive Suspension, and the marketing guy had left, so they said, "Hey, can you kind of help?" So I ended up starting there and hanging out, and they said, "Hey, can you stick around?" So I did both for a little while, and then I did Progressive Suspension for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
In the middle of that, they gave me a whole nother brand. So Burley Brand was a division of White Brothers, and they had folded White Brothers, and they still had this little piece of a company. They weren't sure what to do with it. So they said, "Hey, go through it, see if you can figure out something to do with it." It had 300 grand in sales, I think. And they said, "If it doesn't work, then let me know. We'll just fold it into White Brothers." So we dug through it and said, "This thing's kind of cool." So, and it was really the beginning of like Sportsters not being girl bikes.
Yeah.
So
truth.
I don't even remember what year it was, but there was like this whole kind of culture of these guys buying really cheap Sportsters and putting like not super high bars, but a little bit high bar, little seats, kind of like I don't know what you'd even call it, but it was that next generation of riders.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was my Scrambler. That is a whole nother story. Anyway, that was such a fun bike. It doesn't fly well. So you had to stay on the gas to get air under it. Otherwise, it nosed in because it's a Harley, so it's really front heavy.
Yeah.
So you use the centrifugal force of the spinning wheel, kept the front end up a little bit. Unfortunately, it meant you landed on the gas.
Yeah.
So we blew up a transmission with an 883.
All right then.
So
That's
yeah,
tough
that
to
was
do.
super fun bike, but one day it just started howling. So anyway, yeah, so the Burley Brand was a really fun deal. Oh my God, it's 10 or 20x original revenue. That was such a neat experience. We did a bunch of cool products. I got to work with some pretty amazing people. Right after they got bought again, I got an opportunity to go work at S&S Cycle, and if you're part of this industry, you know that brand, and like I'm a sales and marketing guy, and it just you can't build a brand overnight. Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, a lot less gray. Look at that. Anyway, yeah. So that was 2015, and they had brought no, don't do the comparison. What's mean? We're gonna talk about your birthday again?
Yep. You got me.
Anyway, so yeah, I was at S&S for 8 years. Built a hell of a team, launched a ton of super cool products, got to do a whole lot of really, really fun things. So yeah, neat experience. Last summer, I had done everything I wanted to do, so I left there and took summer off and rode motorcycles and camped and screwed around all summer long. And my wife got, by fall, she was over me. I had to go get a job. So I'm thinking early retirement. She said no.
Nope.
So I got hit up by a company in Italy called Bitubo. And they are a very, very high-end suspension company in Europe. So Öhlins equivalent. But, very little footprint in the U.S. Same quality of product. Same really, really high-end race product. And really fun working with Italians. So they're really colorfully energetic. And
Oh yeah.
it just was it was a super good experience. So I had been doing that since last October. In the beginning of the year, my son and I start this truck project, and we have a couple of sponsors. One of them is Race Winning Brands. So Race Winning Brands owns Wiseco and JE Pistons and Haltech and Dart Blocks and a handful of other automotive brands, as well as the power sports stuff. So I'm talking to their guys, and we're talking about the truck. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Boost Line Corsa is a neat exhaust company. So And yeah, Dart just launched a 2JZ block, like super cool companies. I think there's 18 brands. Anyway, in the middle of talking about sponsorship and the truck build and all the other nonsense, they said, "Hey, we have this role here. We need somebody to kind of lead the V-twin product lines, not necessarily tied to one brand. So it's whatever product is V-twin specific from any of the 18 brands." They said, well, there's nobody that is V-twin on a customer facing level within our organization. I said, well, that's really fun. So I wasn't really looking for anything. I really enjoyed the Vitobo deal, but this is such a neat challenge and such cool people. This is a company that has company car shows. In fact, they just invited me we're doing a power sports show of our own, in the parking lot. So yeah, I love that kind of culture. I love working with motorheads. There's just something about that. Like, you don't really ever work if your conversations at work are about cars and bikes and engines and what you built to race that weekend. It's just, there's something, I don't know, there's something so cool about that. So, and this is, there's 1,000 people within this broader organization, all hardcore motorheads. So so far it's been a fun experience. I'm real early on. I got to be part of the launch of a new clutch system from Recluse. So they were primarily a dirt bike company, and they do like an auto clutch, which it's a trip. So it still functions as a normal clutch, but under a certain RPM, it disengages. So like the KTM guys love it. The dirt bike guys just love it. So it probably makes your life a little bit easier when you're lugging or you're struggling to get over something. You're not shifting, you're hanging on instead. Anyway, so I got to be part of that launch, and that just recently happened. That's been really fun. We've got a bunch of other new products coming, and
So is that the Apex?
Yeah, that's Apex clutch. Yeah. So this is a traditional clutch, but Sarah, hold on that photo right there. Okay. So you can see the hub has these little vertical. Well, actually, on the bike there'll be horizontal bars. So those are steel. And the clutch pack actually rides on those instead of on the aluminum hub.
Yeah.
And the result is way less movement friction. So your lever feel is significantly less. So, with the deal is anything beyond stock horsepower with a factory clutch, you've got to put springs or clutch plates or friction in it.
Yeah.
Like the factory clutch is rated for exactly the factory horsepower on an M8. And anything beyond that, and you'll smoke your clutch. So, or you just ride hard, and your clutch will start slipping. So, but the challenge is you have to run heavier springs to keep it all together. So, which is like punishing lever. Like you ever sat at a light or a train or something, and your hand is shaking. So these Recluse kind of thought that through. And you still have all of essentially the clamping pressure, like what a clutch does, but without the lever feel punishment. So super neat product. And this one just launched. And it'll tolerate, I think it's pushing 180 or 200 pounds of torque, some insane number that bike even makes. So yeah, which is very cool. And then it actually has a softer lever than factory.
So many of the things that you're talking about here, like going back a minute when you were talking about how at S&S you had just done everything that you felt you were there to do, and I can remember when you first said that to me, and I was so taken back by it. I was like, I didn't understand that. And over this last year, I've really started to bring that into focus into my own life. But I think that was what was always kind of cool. Like everything that you have been involved in, you've always been doing it from that perspective. That there was a challenge, or there was some neat aspect to it. Like all the way back to Burley.
But
like you were talking
what's the saying? Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
And you don't start a new career going, well, this is when it's going to end. But you do have, for me at least, you have specific goals, like things you want to achieve, things you want to do, whether it's grow that business or launch product or, build a team, whatever that might be, you kind of have those things in mind. And, the S&S experience was phenomenal. Actually, every company I've worked for, the experience has been phenomenal. I consider myself wildly lucky to have worked for these incredible companies and worked with some amazing people. I still talk to people from every single one of these companies, probably almost daily. Yourself included, right? We met, holy hell.
This is the birthday thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
don't bring up that double picture again, whatever you do.
I don't know, I don't know when, many, many moons ago, and, we're still talking. We're like, we still hear from each other. I love that.
Yep.
There's something just very cool about, it's like-minded, I guess, if you really simplified it.
Absolutely.
But motorcycling brings people together, and, you kind of, you got to stand back and appreciate it.
Well, and that's what I was saying too. Like, even going all the way back to what you said about Burley, like, really, when you think about it, like, Burley really, really started to change the face of all this. I would say that a lot of the stuff that's happening with FXR and performance and everything right now, you guys, God, how long ago was that? You were ushering in what was going to be this entire next movement.
Yeah, not quite 20 years ago, but close to that. Yeah.
From an outsider perspective, I have to say that when you leave these companies, Dave, I feel like you're ready to take your next step, but they're not ready to let you go because of all the things that you've accomplished for them and been a part of. Like, and you can see that impact when you watch these companies over your years there. You can see their growth and how they've progressed. And you reached your goals, so you can go on to your next challenge, and they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, 100% every single brand I've been with has grown while I was there.
Well, every same outlook.
Burley was 300,000 when I got it, and 4.5 million when I left.
That's impressive.
4 or 5 years. So and that's top line revenue. So that's
I have the same outlook that you do.
So every one of the brands
leaving.
has grown.
I sort of have the same outlook that you do on the prepare for the end. The difference between me and you is I burn this son of a bitch to the ground as I'm walking out the door. You have not done that.
That's not the greatest approach, Mark.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Not everybody can be vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, not my style. So here's, if I had done that, that would be a problem, because I worked with those companies while I was at the next company. Mm-hmm. I did projects with Progressive Suspension and when I was at S&S. So, and right now, I'm working with Wiseco Pistons, which is in every single S&S motor.
Right on.
So they're actually a customer, right? So I've, and I don't know if I've done that on purpose, but if I were to torch them as I exited, that would be bad.
No. Well, I don't know that it's if it's necessarily been a conscious thing on your part, but you take the time to know what a good product is, and you, as the man that you are not going to work for a company that you wouldn't use.
No, totally true. Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's where a lot of that comes in, where you can step up and be like, okay, I believe in this product. You're not taking it just because it's a job.
I have prided myself on using my product. I've been in VP roles and really higher roles where you're kind of detached from the actual product. And I've gone out of my way to actually use the product. Like the last thing we did together was the 100-day Sportster Throwdown.
Yep.
Which was the marketing team at S&S dreamt up this crazy program. And, challenges during winter where there's no content because we're in the middle of nowhere. It's covered in snow. Like, you can't ride. So there's no content. There's nothing to talk about. So we always build something wacky or do something wacky. The S&S guys dreamt up this 100-day Sportster Throwdown. We each started with a crappy Sportster. We had 100 days to build it. And like, how fun was that, right? Okay, it was very, very cool.
And I think that's what endears us to you, and as you just travel through these different companies and stuff, is the fact that you are a garage guy, like undeniably, 100%. Even when it's not a project that has anything to do with what any of us might be doing out here in the motorcycle world, you are obsessed about being in the garage.
Yeah, I am. My wife says that I am the bluest white collar guy ever.
That's what makes you real, though.
I'm in roles that generally your day is full of spreadsheets and reports and slide decks and everything else. So you really could very easily lose touch with the product. And I've gone on my way, like, and you learn stuff too. Like you're putting something together and you're all, this instruction sheet blows. Like you get a chance to fix stuff because, or I was doing a big bore kit on Sportster a couple years ago, and the rings had changed vendors, but the instruction sheet didn't indicate that. Okay, holy hell, how many we can fix that, right? So you have the opportunity to do stuff like that, and which is great.
So there's a couple comments I got to get to here real quick. Jeff Jolliffe, Jolie is in the house, and he said just put a Recluse clutch in his Road King. It rocks.
Oh, nice.
Rob Nussbaum wants to know where the company is located. So where's Recluse out of?
They're in Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. We have two different people asking you to talk about the bike that's behind you. One of them, Dennis Stauber, Big D, that's always on here with us, has that bike sitting in his living room. And Tyler Ward said that was his first ever motorcycle.
Yeah, this one has a funny story. So my kids are all motorcycle people, right? Surprise. So my daughter has this obsession with vintage Hondas. So this is actually her second CT90. This is a 73. And we bought it when we still lived in California, dragged it all the way to Wisconsin. She started college shortly after that. It got kind of stuck in a corner. And a couple summers ago, we restored it. So, and she did a first big ride with it a couple years ago. And it was awesome. You know the deal. You build your own motorcycle and you ride it.
Oh,
there is just nothing like that.
That's
and I don't care if it's 90 or a Road King. Like you built that. Your blood, sweat, and tears are in that thing, and it goes and it took you somewhere. It's just amazing. Like, so you could not wipe the smile off her face. So, but unfortunately, she lives in an apartment. So during the winter, the motorcycle comes here. So, and I have a walk-in basement, and all my bikes during the winter go in there. And we actually ran out of room this year, so this bike ended up in my office.
That's great. So hey, the boss is in the house too. Brian Clark says David Zemla is a great dad, example, and industry expert. So glad he continues to stay and play. He's the real deal. Now about your son SEMA build, latest Volkswagen and bike project. Nothing to see here.
I don't even want to get a SEMA build because it is the dumbest thing I've ever built. And it's actually the kid is building it largely. I'm support. I'm like background noise on this thing. But arguably it's 1,000 horsepower Ford Ranger, so it's dumb. So
I feel like almost every time we talk, Dave, you tell me that you're working on the dumbest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. No, and this we continue to up it. Yeah, well, so the dumbest thing I was building when we talked last was that Sportster.
Yep.
So it has, I don't know, $7,000 worth of Olin suspension on a $1,500 Sportster.
I support that. I'm sorry.
Right.
Me too.
So it was, at the time, it was the dumbest thing I've ever built. Because who would do that, right? Who would do that?
No, what about the red sports? You built a red
Tracker,
sports.
yeah.
Yeah.
Death Tracker. Death Tracker is actually why I never finished the FXR, because we got distracted. So Death Tracker was a nickel-plated frame, early 90s Sportster with the very last, 1800cc SNS Sportster motor in it. So it was a monster sports motor. It was a $10,000 Sportster motor in a $800 Sportster.
Listen,
with a nickel-plated frame, all Olin suspension off. The front ends were off of the Flat Track team bikes. because SNS was building the flat track program for Indian, and they were downstairs, so we just absconded with one of their front ends. And it had I built the entire harness myself, and it had solid state electronics, so you had to start it with your phone. Wow. So there you go, Death Tracker, right? They just hit me up. They're all, hey Dave, what's the password for the app? So we that'll cost you. It's like a one-off swing arm. Yeah. The whole thing is nickel plated. It's such a nutty bike.
That was a great bike. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, that at the time was the dumbest thing I'd ever built too.
And that was we were just on the Big Pine Run, and Pipes from the Hamsters. Anybody that knows Pipes built something that it reminded me of this motorcycle, and I was absolutely in love with it, man. He busted it out on the street, and like, you know, Pipes is known for always performance everything, but you know, when he came out with this, I was just like, where did this come from? Where in your mind did you get this idea?
Yeah, that was a fun one. That had crazy stuff in it too. Besides, you know, solid state electronics, the number plate headlight thing was printed. You know, like there's such crazy detail on it. Such crazy detail. Yeah, that's a fun bike. That one was in Bike Exif. So if you're familiar with Bike Exif, it's like a cafe racer, cool kid online magazine. And they featured that one. In fact, they featured the blue one I just did as well.
Yeah, this is actually from their site. So
that's actually printed. My painter was mad. This has a lot of texture, man. Well, that's a you problem.
See that, Mark? Everybody says that about the painter. Kiss my ass.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's all solid state electronics. It was just such a neat program. Like, that was such a fun bike.
Brian said that was a wicked fun build. Hey, I didn't get to this fast enough, but let's go back for a second and talk about this. Show everybody this bike, because you're right. That was a lot of money to throw at suspension.
No, terribly. You know, the funny part, the front end had been floating around for I don't even know how long. I think we were going to use it for something flat track or something that it never got used. So I originally was going to build a chrome bike. So I've never built a chrome bike. Everything I've done has always been blacked out or gold or not chrome. So I started building the front end. I was assembling the front end, and I had fresh powder coated lowers. And as I'm assembling it, I gouged the lowers. And I was so mad at myself. And I pouted for a couple days. And then I came back, and I'm sitting in my office, and that set of forks was sitting in the corner. I'm all, God, dude, that really escalates things when you put an inverted front end on a Sportster, because then nothing else. You got to start with. So, like, I'm all, and so I'm talking to Brock's. So I don't know if you're familiar with Brock.
Oh, yeah.
And he's all, I make a tree for that. I'm like, you make a tree that adapts a 2016 Gixxer fork to a Sportster?
Oh, yeah, this is Brock. This is Brock we're talking about.
Yeah, he's all, you want one? Brock, I do.
Please.
Yes. And then everything escalated after that. So that gas tank is like some eBay special Honda something knockoff. I had to notch it to get the rocker in. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that was, and so, but the whole thing like went from, I was going to build a really traditional kind of black and chrome Sportster to this silliness. I actually painted that myself too.
Right on.
Yeah, that was really fun. I've never painted my own motorcycle, so that was really cool. So you know who actually helped a ton on that bike was Dennis Kirk.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So they were fantastic. They supported our 100-day build off. By the way, I lost. That bike lost.
What?
It did. I was so sad because I loved that bike.
Yeah,
I voted for that bike. That was my choice.
Right. So I was so.
I think it was rigged.
Yeah, it might have been.
I'm just saying.
Fake news.
The public vote. So I don't know if you could. Rigged. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So no, Dennis Kirk had stepped in and helped all three of us. So it was really cool. And then in the background, we're actually all collaborating. Like so, Cody is the video guy I painted his bike as well. John came over one night and I welded his kickstand on, so we were actually really helping each other in the background, but on camera, we were kind of MFing each other.
Oh yeah.
So it ended up being very fun. And we debuted at Mama Tried in Milwaukee, which was very cool. And the Mama Tried guys were really kind of tolerant of us having our own little thing in the middle of their show. So which was very cool. And the voting kind of happened, I think it wrapped up during their show. So, and then I lost.
So I call bullshit on that too.
But but the bike is yours at the end of the day, so you
Right.
definitely
Yeah,
didn't
really-
lose
yeah,
anything.
it's been really fun. Yeah, it's been a good bike. So in fact, I think I'm going to take it to Sturgis. So I head to Sturgis Thursday.
Nice.
Oh,
So I'll take it with me.
nobody's allowed to talk about any Sturgis
Well,
specifics.
no, that'll be
now,
great
but
because
la, la, la,
we'll
la,
be no,
la, la.
All right.
we'll be able to see him in Sturgis.
No,
this year,
that's the
which
one
is
part that's good.
outstanding.
Just don't tell me when.
This is a weird year, so I'm trapped probably most of the time at Black Hills Harley. So Recluse has a booth at Black Hills. So I think, I'm so new to the program, I think I'm going to end up sticking around there and just working with them for the duration.
Well, we'll come visit you.
Thank you.
We can do
I'll be
that.
there.
We
Yeah.
will come visit you.
Real quick, I
will
want to
be
do.
calling clutches.
I want to do a public service. Anybody that watches the program knows Radar is always on here. Radar is a dear friend, helps us with the smoke out. I can't even tell you how much, but I know Radar from the Hokahay. He sent a message here. It says, Chris, the person I asked to hold my money for the Hokahay has either stolen my money or says he can't remember me giving it to him to hold now. I'm broke. I'm going anyway. Hokahay. And then he puts up a message. I've got an XR 1200 I need to sell tonight, all original, ready to ride. So anybody who wants to help Radar out with his Hokahay plate, please throw a message up and we'll try to pass it on to him. But I feel bad for you, buddy. I feel
Radar is
bad.
a veteran. He's done the Hokahay a few times, and he's a great guy and a
Great
big
human
help to
being.
us. So if anybody's looking for an XR 1200, hit him
It's a
up.
good bike.
Yep.
That's a fun bike.
So in addition to Recluse and a couple of the brands that they might have seen up here, there's from the performance world, man, there's some heavy hitters on this list of companies that you're involved with now, from JE and Weisco Pistons, Manley. Like there's a lot of
Manley still makes rods for twin cams.
yeah.
We were just going through the product lines, and there's, we're looking at V-twin specific revenue, and you're like, Manley, they do it, and they're still selling rods, so yeah, which is fun.
Yeah, that's got to be good. I'll tell you, like I think, with a few of the things that are going on, like we were joking at the privilege of AMA for a minute about the Right to Repair Act, and we had talked previous to the show about the overturn of the Chevron Act and stuff. I think we're kind of getting to a different place in this. I think we finally arrived at a place where performance is too important for so many of the V-twin companies that I think that everybody's ready for a little pushback on that. So hopefully it lightens up a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully. Half the battle is emissions. And there's a company like S&S is a good example. Where they built really high performance parts that were emissions compliant. The automotive industry has been doing that for a very long time. Like an 800 horsepower car is not unusual,
Right.
With and it's fully emissions compliant. So you can build stuff that's not belching, fumes.
Well, and I think
Still goes.
that's a big thing that we've been asking for, is like show us where the line is, show us what the rules are, and let us do what we do to meet that. I mean, companies with advantage like S&S, S&S knows where the rules are. They know where to get to. They have an entire-
They actually have an in-house emissions lab.
yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. So they've really done a good job. You can buy a bolt-on exhaust system that is fully emissions compliant. It sounds great and makes good power. And
do you mind? Do you
Other
mind
companies
talking
doing
about that a
now.
little bit? Like, get into that, because a lot of people might not even understand how it's possible to make something that's emission compliant and can perform. And that was a big technology that you guys started to put together there.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. A factory bike that has cats in it, generally the cats are up by the heads. So the hotter a cat is, the more efficient it is, the less really expensive chemicals it needs. So if you're an OEM, you're making thousands of motorcycles, you're trying to make your package cheaper. Not cheaper, less expensive. And Harley obviously builds a hell of a bike, but a catalyst is very, very expensive. So they use a cat that's up by the head, and it runs really hot, and it does a very good job of cleaning the exhaust. Unfortunately, it also does a really good job of blocking the exhaust. So if you take that cat, open it up, and put it towards the tail of the exhaust, it doesn't really have as much impact on flow, and you build performance. The downside is you use more precious metals, which is more expensive.
Yeah.
You can still make something that sounds great and makes good power and doesn't cook you. One of the challenges of, especially like the early M8s, maybe it was the late twin cams, the rear cylinder cat, just you could feel the heat boiling off that thing right out of the head. So if you take that thing and put it lower and let it kind of be in the air, it works great and is completely emissions legal. And and that's kind of like this no to talk about emissions compliance stuff in the Harley space. But there's going to be no Harley space if we don't figure that one out.
Yeah, right on. Hey, real quick update. So, Radar, if you're listening and not reading along, Carol Cole is a friend of the show also, an absolute real buyer, and she's asking, what do you want for it and where is it at? So we told her that you're in North Carolina, but you want to make a deal on that bike.
ShopTalk, we've sold your motorcycle.
Right. Hey, you know what though? I mean, that's kind of what we're about, right? Is community. We're community oriented here.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's very, very cool.
So, well,
right,
listen,
we can't talk about emissions anymore. It'll just bum people out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
no.
on. What's next? So in Sturgis, then where do we go from there?
Oh, for me, I go to California, working with drag reps, and then I go to Boise to work with Recluse on some new product. And then I'm back in town for a little bit, and then national vendor presentation for Drag Specialties is early September.
I know.
That's Drags. They do this a couple times a year.
It's in Milwaukee this year.
Yeah, right. It's first time in Milwaukee, right? It's been in Madison, Wisconsin for a very, very long time.
And we're super bummed because it's the same weekend as Smokeout, and I just got to go to my very first ever MVP was over the winter. Yeah,
that would be Louisville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do a great job with their shows. They really, really do. And end of the day, for us in the industry, it's like this family reunion on top of that.
So Radar says, dump the cats and go for big air. But first of all, Radar, answer the question about how much you want for the bike if you want help. But
stay on task, Radar.
Is Radar right or wrong? Dump the cats and go for big air.
That's if he is only riding wide effing open, that's probably fine. But at the end of the day, exhaust doesn't necessarily you put drag pipes on something that actually runs worse. So wide open isn't always the answer.
And that was a longtime friend of the magazine and mine personally used to be our tech editor, Jim Libonetti from Megaflow. That was something that he used to say. He used to preach it all the time. Build where you ride. Build for where you ride. And like so many people want to build to a number on a piece of paper and pretend that they're going to ride wide open all the time. And that's not actually where you do.
Yeah. I'm a stickler when it comes to cams because of that. You can put a giant cam in an M8 and make a great number on paper, but the bike's unrideable. It makes all of its horsepower at the very top end. And I don't know who you are as a bagger guy. If you're running, a couple hundred RPM away from red line the whole time? I don't think so. So yeah, I like a torque cam. You know, if you want a bike to feel fast, you know, without having to break every stupid law, you know, build something with torque on the bottom end. You know, and that kind of plays into what you're saying. You know, build it to where you ride.
Yep.
And the reality is not. It's so unusual that you ride all the time at the last quarter of your RPM range. You just don't. You don't. But if you build something that only makes horsepower there, it's really not fun to ride.
And I remember a national newsstand magazine that used to have the tagline, "Horsepower is what you brag about, but torque is what you ride."
You do, yeah. You know, like an M8 it's a really solid motor. You can make hella torque on that thing, man, real early in the RPM range.
I know.
And it's so fun to ride. It is so much better than something you got to wring its neck. So yeah, I'm weird about stuff like that. I love a bike that makes its power real early. And you know, if it does on the top end too, that's great. But it's got 6 freaking gears. I don't. You're out of road long before you're out of power.
Right.
So Steve Broyle says he's going to stop by and talk to you a little bit more about the Recluse clutches. So
Killer.
expect a visit from Mr. Broyles.
Oh,
Excellent.
I
I'm
hear
on
a
the lot
visitor.
on the 2nd.
There you go.
So have him come see me. That'll be fun.
Logic Cycles, what are you doing? Oh. Wait a minute, we have a special visitor in the studio.
Come over here.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Ready? Come on, come up here.
With a helmet on.
Yeah, this
Is
could
your-
be a new product too.
helmet off.
Were you out on the motorcycle?
Yeah.
Say hi
He does that with that helmet on.
that.
What the hell?
So you guys went from Milwaukee all the way back to Mitchell already?
Yep. It's so much closer than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania that I was just like, well, I'm just going to run home.
Fair. Okay. How long is that drive?
7 hours, about 7 hours. So
Oh, actually, that is closer.
it's not, I mean, 7 hours for us is not that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Simple.
There he is. Cargo clock, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
What do you think, Cargo?
Hey, tell them what you learned. If you're gonna be stupid,
If you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough.
Yeah, that's words to live by, man.
You know
I've
my name,
had-
Google me.
What'd you say?
If you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough.
I've had such a bad effect on this little boy. It's terrible.
you didn't teach him that.
You know my name, Google me. Bye, Felicia.
It's not time for that yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay?
Say hi to Dave.
Say hi, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Hey, Cargo. Say hi to your dad.
He's friends with your dad. He wants you to tell him hi for him. Okay.
Oh. One of the benefits of working in this environment is you never know who's going to pop in, but anytime Cargo's here with us, he's a blast because he is a natural comedian.
Very fun.
Okay, Radar says, all I have just over 9,000. At this point, I will take 7,500. I'm in North Carolina, but I can deliver after Hokahay. So that goes out to Big Rick, Carol Cole. He's looking for 7,500 and he'll deliver.
I'm sweating.
I see that.
All right, well, Dave, listen, man, thank you for being here with us tonight. I hope that we can get you on here again and actually get involved with you and do some product stuff with some of these
Good.
companies that you're working with.
Gonna need help with my FXR some point this winter.
Let's get on
I
it.
need guidance. I've never built one, so
I fully expect new product alerts from you from all your brands.
Well, and back to the FXR stuff, we're building like 6 of them right now in-house here with all the people in and around clock. So yeah, we can
excellent.
absolutely.
I'll have many questions.
Let's get you over here for a little bit, and we can.
I'll be
do
up
some
for that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I haven't been to Mitchell in forever. So yeah, bring it on.
So you can keep up with Dave's antics and actually your column. We didn't talk about your column.
Yeah, I write for a VW magazine. So my childhood, so I grew up in the 80s during the CalBug scene in SoCal. And I was just obsessed with lowered Volkswagens during that era. So those magazines, that was all there was, were, those things were Godhead. You headed to 7-Eleven and you got your new VW Trends or Hot VWs, and, that was such a cool thing. A guy who actually was originally at the magazine and then ended up working in our industry. So he was marketing guy for Lifestyle Cycles in SoCal. Bought the magazine back and relaunched it. So yeah, that's Caroline. She's super cool. I hit him up. I'm all, here's what I'm thinking about doing. Let's build some content, do some Volkswagen stuff. He's all, I'll tell you what, why don't you just write a column every issue? I said, okay. So yeah, every issue I have a garage built column, and I highlight people who are building cool stuff in their garage.
That's so good.
Those are my people, right? So it's very. I have an opportunity to reach out to these people who are just doing cool stuff and go, hey, would you like to be in a magazine? And yes, there are still magazines.
Yep.
So, which is very fun, right? So
every time somebody says something about magazines, I want to go, we're not dead yet.
It's very fun to see it. I as silly as that is, that thing shows up here, every time, and I open it up and I'm excited to read it. There's just something still very cool about the tactile feel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like going to the movies. When you read a magazine, you are wholly focused on it. In a world where having 17 screens and all the distractions, everything else, you never really are focused on one thing anymore. So, but you read a magazine, you're focused on one thing.
Yeah.
And it feels good. So, I do. I still write for a actual magazine.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Didn't I do something for you guys a while back? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I almost want to horn in on the VW thing and ask you to do something like that every once in a while on Garage Guys in this part of the world.
I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do it. If I do, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy writing. So that kind of stuff is really fun. Like the press releases you guys used to get with the new product alert was always like, I wrote most of those, and it was just not. I mean, I had plenty of really talented people on staff, but I actually just enjoyed writing.
Well, you have a platform anytime for motorcycling.
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you contribute.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll write about me lighting my FXR on fire whenever a bad thing happens. When I build the next dumbest thing I've ever done.
All right,
So
man.
good.
Well, listen, we're going to catch up with you in Sturgis, and
Sure.
I wish you all the luck in the world. It's always good to talk to you, man. And
Thank you, guys.
I'm sure that the future is bright from here.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you soon.
All
Take
right,
care,
buddy.
Dave.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. See you, Dave.
Hey, you guys, you're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Still got more show left. Don't go anywhere. We're a week out from Sturgis. The whole shit wagon is
we
on
weren't
fire,
talking about that.
and we're coming in hot.
I thought
but
we
here's a
weren't
cool new
talking about
product that you want to see. You're watching Shop Talk. Stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Grease and Gears TV. I'm Chris. This is your product spotlight. Okay, today's product spotlight is on the NAMZ Custom Cycle Product, complete motorcycle wiring harness. Thank God somebody makes this product, and thank God it's not me, because if there's anything I hate in this world, it's making a wiring harness. That's why most of my bikes only have 6. Unfortunately, if you're doing anything more substantial than a chopper, you're going to need to see the folks over at NAMZ, because they make this absolutely painless. Let's take a look inside the box. I'm going to tell you about this. One of the greatest things about this harness is right inside the box, it comes with everything. HD OEM color matching wires, so you don't have to worry about getting that mixed up. The fuses, charging circuit breaker, starter relay, turn signal canceling, everything all in the package, all in the harness, ready to go. Also in the package are a complete set of Deutsch connectors for the ends, you know, so you can do that nice factory looking connector, and they're waterproof. This is gonna make it a lot easier for you to make something that's not gonna give you trouble down the road. Everything plainly labeled. A tube of shrink wrap comes with it. It's a fantastic product. Like, I can't say it enough. Thank God that this is something I don't have to be responsible for on my motorcycles anymore, especially when I'm building something like an FXR. Another one of our products in the motorcycle industry today that is proudly made in the USA. These are made completely in-house at NAMZ in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Depending on which harness you go with, you can look to spend anywhere between $300 to $400. Don't take my word for it. Head over to NAMZ Cycle Products today and ask them for yourself. I suggest you do it. It's going to save a ton of time, and you might even save some of your hair. This is Chris. This is your product spotlight.
Riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape. There's a flow to the road you share, so go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
For our bike show.
1
Welcome
week
back
from
to
today.
Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Yeah, we're 1 week out to Sturgis, right? 1 week out.
Do you know what else?
What?
We're 38 days, 11 hours, and 30 minutes from smoke out.
Heather?
Yes.
Jane?
Jane, you. Oh boy. Here we go. There starts an argument for the whole evening.
So Dave is very much a guy that I expect could swing in the circles we run in back home work.
Oh, most definitely.
Yep.
And like, what a wealth of knowledge. I'll tell you, I agree with something that you had said. To have that white collar guy on the top with such a blue collar feel, like that has to make every place that he works really appreciate him being where he is.
Yeah, because it's not like, hey, someone coming in, how do we improve the bottom line? Like a lot of the stuff that he's thinking about, like I said, it's those challenges. What's a neat project? How can we move the bar, more than just the money part? How can we change the way this looks?
Yep.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah, super interesting guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. So lots of stuff still to talk about here. Sturgis is right around the corner, but right after that, you guys saw it, we're going to be headed to Smokeout, and one of the big things to talk about for Smokeout is our invited builders.
We've got a great lineup this year. Great lineup. And for those of you that don't know, the invited builders in the off Legends and Legacy year come from the top 20. From the top 20 feature bikes of the year before. They can't always make it because they are from all over the world and stuff like that. So we do supplement every now and then, but every single one of these guys deserves to be in that room, and I'm really excited this year.
Yeah, you can see this this layout is from the current issue of Cycle Source magazine that's hitting the newsstands any day, but you can catch up with who our Legends invited builders are for the gallery, for the actually the Cycle Showcase Smokeout Gallery. You can check that out on the smokeoutrally.com page today, along with our Tankful Project artists. This is one by Heather's sister, and man.
Yeah, so that's one half of her tank, because Lowbrow donated full tanks this year, 2 pieces. And as of today, she'll have used 130,000 crystals between the 2 halves.
She needs a hobby.
Well, I can honestly say this is probably her last year doing the crystals.
So a couple of the other artists that we have lined up here, it's a killer project. If you guys aren't aware with this, so the basis of all of this is to showcase the art of our culture, which oftentimes ends up on our motorcycles, but in a greater purpose, we put these things up for auction. All of the money that's generated from this auction, from these, what are they, 12 artists?
20 this year.
20 artists this year. All 20 tanks that go out for auction, 100% of the money goes to benefit Meals on Wheels. So seniors with food insecurities, this is a project that we do under Ed Kerr of the Hamsters. It's his project, but there should be no senior in the United States that has to make a choice between medication and food.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so
it's ridiculous.
And now that you're going to be 54 in a couple of days, or in a day, you need to start thinking about that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Gandalf.
just saying. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. This is the first birthday that I'm not going to be with you. You know that.
So
Eric Milwaukee, so I want to do it again on the Tankful
I
project.
put you on the list for next year, Eric. So as far as Tankful goes, all the tanks will be up for an online auction regardless of where you are. You can bid on these tanks. Do me a favor and bid high. If you can't bid or if you get outbid, you can make a general donation. And again, 100% of the proceeds goes directly to Meals on Wheels. Any shipping costs, Smokeout incurs those costs to get the tanks to the new owners, but just consider it for a minute.
Okay, so this is the point of the show where we normally have this fancy lead-in telling you that we're about to go to Heather and the events, and I still don't have a lead-in for it. But
well, no, because we have a new event sponsor.
Yeah, our new sponsor. You want to tell everybody who that is?
So the events are brought to you by Cyclefish. If you want to know what's going on in the motorcycle community or motorcycle-friendly establishments, go to cyclefish.com.
And now Heather with the events.
All right, so Sturgis starts for us next Thursday at the Palace City Sturgis pre-party.
Yeah,
we are going to hold our 2nd annual custom bike show on the corner of 5th and Main. Look for Camel at the Cycle Source booth.
Okay. It's free. It's free to enter.
Whatever.
But I have breaking news. I have to share this. So in addition
to
some of the coolest trophies on the planet, the Best of Show not only receives a full feature in Cycle Source magazine and on Grease and Gears TV, but ends up with what? $500 cash money.
Oh, holy hell.
Yeah, that's provided by Clockworks. Brian has given the go-ahead to give out some cash. You can see up there in the corner.
Does Vanessa know?
I hope Vanessa knows, or she knows
if
right
she does,
now.
she knows
Brian's
now.
getting the shit slapped out of him. But $500 cash prize for the Best of Show. So we want to see, we know you guys are on your way to Sturgis. We know you want to stop and see what new designs are on the Corn Palace. But this is a bigger reason to stop in Mitchell. We can take you around the property here, show you how cool Clockworks is, because nobody has an idea about the fact that this place is nearly a block by a block.
It's pretty impressive.
You need to see that. You need to see our offices. You're welcome to come in early, be there for the show with us, be there to hang out for the Palace City pre-party. That's all I have. That's all I have to say about that. Palace City pre-party.
Palace City pre-party next Thursday. Starts at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Ready to move on?
Yep. The following Sunday is a big day. Cycle Source Custom Bike Show, the 18th annual at the Iron Horse Saloon. Registration starts at 11 a.m., goes to 4. Best of Show gets a Paco rolling chassis, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park this year, plus a full feature in Cycle Source magazine on Grease and Gears TV.
What are you talking about?
Rolling chassis for our bike show.
But that's Cycle Showcase.
Oh, I can't look. You told me I can't look at your screen.
That's what you're talking about.
When did you ever listen to him?
I was trying to follow the instructions. Whatever.
Stop it now.
Okay. All right, so I already did that. Move on. Cycle Showcase Sturgis Edition at the Steel Pony Campground. First time ever, Big Randy is holding a Cycle Showcase in Sturgis. It's going to be amazing. I'm super looking forward to it. That evening, Sunday evening of our bike show, we're going to host an official gallery opening. Starting at 7 p.m. in the Cycle Showcase Sturgis Edition.
So I'm right, though. We're doing a special industry preview 6 to 7.
Yes, you are right.
Any of our friends from the industry, you can expect your invitation this week. Special industry stuff going on there.
Yep, super secret. Let's see. Monday is our, 7th annual, maybe?
Has to be.
AMCA Vintage Motorcycle, actually, I should just say Vintage Motorcycle Day at the Iron Horse Saloon. If you happen to have your AMCA card with you, you get preferred parking and a free sack lunch courtesy of Cycle Source and the Iron Horse Saloon. Black Hills AMCA chapter hosts old time field games in the afternoon, and it's completely free.
Poppy.
Also on Monday, Poppy's Old School Chopper Show at the Full Throttle Saloon. Again, free show, amazing motorcycles. Just for entering your bike, you get free stuff. You get a chance to win stuff.
You can just kick me when you want me to move on.
Oh, nice. Permission to kick. You all heard that. On Wednesday is the 18th annual Run to the Line. You can ride along with Cycle Source and friends and the legendary Michael Lichter as we ride through Van Acker Canyon and with a stop at Nemo Guest Ranch. And again, it's free to participate, and you also get a free sack lunch.
Why a sack lunch, Heather?
Because that's what Pearl Cole did in the very, very early days of the rally.
The very first one.
Very first one. They would take people out on the gypsy tour, and they would ride to Custer, and she would give them all a sack lunch. So that's what we're doing. Thursday night, I don't even know how many times we've done this, but it's the Black Hills Boogie Chopper Show and Disco Party poolside at the Steel Pony. Get your groove on. Most people show up in their greatest 70s attire and some cool choppers. It's free to enter. It's free to participate. Just come on down. Choppers.
Da, 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 da.
Friday. I don't know how long we've been doing this one either. Biker Olympics at the Iron Horse Saloon. First place in each contest gets a gold medal, which is very appropriate because the Olympics are actually happening. And overall champ gets a killer championship rodeo belt and all the dollars.
All the dollars.
Well, oh, there's more. John.
But wait, there's more.
You
literally just checked out there.
I was reading comments. I can't see.
John Parham's Memorial Race, Davenport, Iowa, Friday, August 30th.
Will you get her a goddamn screen?
Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. I'm working on it. I'm working over here.
Friday, August 30th, Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds, showdown at sundown. The Wizard Jeffrey Carver versus the Revolver Brandon Robinson. Harley versus Indian.
Oh boy, 100-Year War.
For more info, you can get it at rotorracing.com.
Smoke Out
September 5th through 8th, 2024, Rowan County Fairgrounds in Salisbury, North Carolina. It's a party you're not going to want to miss. Like Evil Rick, you say you're on the fence. Get off the fence.
Well,
Just come.
he said something about need to find somebody who will let me set up on their spot and split costs. If the only thing that's keeping you from Smoke Out is having a spot to set up, get a hold of me. DM us. We'll work it out for you. And we have one more
He said
event.
kick, not hit.
Yeah, right?
They can't
There's
see
no
me
hitting.
kick you.
There's no hitting.
I know.
There's one more event for us to talk about, and it's Born Free, y'all.
Born Free, y'all.
Born Free, y'all.
October 17th through 20th at the Yellow Rose Canyon Ranch. I bet it's a damn good time.
And that was the events sponsored by Cyclefish.
Sorry, Cyclefish.
What do you mean, sorry, Cyclefish?
I didn't do a very good job. Cyclefish does a better job with events than I do. I'm just saying. Behind Rudy's Fairing, Bourbon Trip versus Smokeout Rally.
It's a tough one. You can actually make the Bourbon Trip.
Yeah,
at
why can't you
Smokeout.
come, right? You could, yeah.
We like bourbon. All right,
Yes.
so tons going on. I'm hoping to see every one of you at Sturgis over this next 14 days. Tiger Ward is my witness. Whenever I'm ready to take you to court, he's coming with
Tiger,
me.
you're the one that told me to put a pillow over his mouth, aren't you?
So I'm hoping to see all you guys. Yeah, somebody mentioned earlier we are doing shithouse races at Smokeout. So shithouse drag
Pending
races.
budget approval.
Budget's through, man.
No, you haven't passed it by me.
I need like $300. That's it.
Yeah,
So-
prove it.
If you're not sure what that is, 2 bikes pull up to the line. We hook ropes to the bikes. They're pulling 2 shit houses with 2 of your guys in them. The light goes off. You make it to the end of the track. There are no doors on said shit house. You do get a paintball mask and a chest protector if you're the rider of the shit house. And promises to be a good time. All Mark's idea, by the way. All on Mark.
Well, I don't know. If somebody gets hurt, it was my idea.
So you ready for
I'm looking
Smokeout?
for it.
If somebody,
You ready for Smokeout?
no.
Mark?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Can't wait. It's always
Anyway,
fun.
Mark is part
Anyway,
of the
if
Mark is
you
part of
haven't-
the advance crew. Like any of the stuff that you see built at Smokeout, the risers for the bikes, all the signage all around the property, everything that's been built there. Him, brother Jeff, and now they've conned poor Paul into being part of their posse. It's ridiculous.
so if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can still get them at smokeoutrally.com. Plus, you can see all the information about everything that's going on, like the bands that are playing. We have Texas Hippie Coalition, Cody Parks and the Dirty South. We've got a pretty good lineup this year. I'm super happy with it.
One more thing that we want to talk about for Smokeout is the giveaway bike. So there it is in its current stage. We want to thank all the companies that have helped out with this, but you will be able to see this motorcycle in Sturgis. So we'll be giving you some live shots of that, but Brandon is killing himself. Brandon at Logic Cycles, killing himself, making a beautiful motorcycle. If you remember the pictures we were showing of this thing in its stock condition, he has absolutely kicked it out of the park. Steve's Garage has lined up this paint job. The paint job is killer. We're down to a couple little parts. He's over there getting it, but thanks to all the companies, again, that have helped make this possible. You can go today, get a ticket to win this incredible motorcycle, and again, all of the proceeds, 100%, are going to Meals on Wheels under Ed Kerr. So we can't thank Logic enough for that, and all you guys who have already bought tickets.
I can't wait to see what Brandon gives away of Rick's next year.
That XR 1200.
Yeah, next year's Meals on Wheels bike sounds like it's going to be an XR 1200. So Radar is asking, will Big House Pete be playing in Smokeout? Absolutely.
Nice.
We have more news on all of the band lineup coming out right after we get to Sturgis. So tons of stuff, but the big news there is absolutely Texas Hippie Coalition. We're so stoked to have them as our headliner, and we know you guys are too. So, by the way, Ricky's already talking. He says, funny, Mark. I imagine you're going to get a phone call. Imagine you're going to get a phone
Hey,
call.
no, not hating, just saying.
All right, man. So hopefully you guys are already ready for Sturgis. It looks like Bill Stevens says he's leaving tomorrow. So Anybody that's already ready to go, you are way
I
ahead
think
of
Monkey's
me.
already on his way.
Well, I hope Monkey's on his way here.
I don't think he's coming here.
Not even stopping by?
I don't think so. We don't
Really?
rate. Thanks, Monkey.
How do we rate? Anyway, we've had you guys tied up here for a long time. Thank you so much for sharing your headspace with us and part of your time on Sunday nights. Remember to tell your friends and family. Shop Talk goes live 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We do this every week. We do it because you guys keep coming back for it. So
We will not be here next weekend as we will be in Sturgis.
Oh, man!
We hope to
Stop
see you
saying
in
that.
Sturgis at one of our events.
The hell?
We will be back the following week.
Stop.
Stop.
Evil Rick said Monkey is in St. Louis right now. So there
But
you
anyway,
go.
we hope to see you guys in Sturgis. Ride safe.
We'll see you right after Sturgis with another show while we scramble to get ready for Smokeout. Until then, go do something with your motorcycle. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Back in for Sturgis, Felicia.
There we go.